What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's installment of DappRadar Meets. The date is Wednesday, the 9th of March. I hope you're all doing well out there amidst the ongoing conflict and turmoil in Ukraine. Right now, our thoughts are with those trapped and trying to fight for their lives and freedom. And we send you all our love and strength for now and the foreseeable. And of course, I want to thank you for tuning in as always during these stressful times. For us at least, the show must go on. Today, we welcome African Beard and the Wolf Juro from the Harmony blockchain play-to-earn game, Ender's Gate. They're here with us today, so I'm just going to do a quick sound check. Hey guys, do we have you there?
Hey, yeah, we're here.
Hey Ian, yeah, sure, we can hear you.
Awesome. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to run through some admin, and then we'll jump right into it, okay?
Good thing.
Sure.
As always, we record the sessions for people to catch up later, and if you've missed any of the previous AMAs, then you can get them all on YouTube. Head over to our channel where you can find hundreds of educational and analytical videos. They really will help you along your DApp journey. What's been happening this week? So something obviously that's dominating the narrative at the moment. We started the week with an update about the ongoing work that the blockchain and crypto community are doing in Ukraine. As the donations figure to the official wallets has sailed past 60 million, more and more initiatives are popping up and support remains really strong. It's amazing to see, and we hope it's making a difference. In other news, a leading figure in the DeFi space, Andre Cronje, the influential developer of Yearn Finance, Keeper Network, and Phantom, announced his departure from the DeFi space, which made quite an impact on some DApp token prices. He broke the news through a tweet, actually, from former Phantom Foundation colleague Anton Nell. As a result, some the tokens associated with the projects mentioned dropped. Now they're all back at their original positions, and people were very quick to point out on Twitter that Andre wasn't a one-man band, and that there are teams supporting the dApps that he also initially set up. Also, as mentioned, DeFi Kingdoms today announced their own blockchain solution, the DFK blockchain, following in the footsteps of Axie and Gala Games, and you can read all about that on the blog. On that play-to-earn vibe, leading game Mobox, which runs on Binance Smart Chain, which is now BNB Chain, has teased a new game called Moland Defense, and it led to a quick uptick in activity for them. Also, Solana's leading DEX, Radium, has released a mobile-friendly version 2 of their application, and in general, it seems to be poking its head out of the sand and making some big moves, especially in the field of lending. More so with DeFi at the moment, we're seeing some trends in lending where we're starting to see a sort of bull run emerge in lending. So much more happening, all on the blog. Head over there when you can, guys. So without further ado, let's jump into the matter at hand. As you know, every week I sit down with the brightest minds, leading protocols, blockchain games, NFT projects, and DeFi dApps. We dig in and we get a better idea of what's in store for them and get a better idea of the people behind the scenes, something that I think is very important when trying to evaluate a project. We also, most importantly, give you, the community, a chance to ask the difficult questions. Today, we've got $25 in Harmony 1 tokens up for grabs for the best questions. So make sure you get them in, but also make sure to listen out for the other questions, so if you need to change yours, you can. Before we dive right in, and just to get everyone on the same page, let me just give everyone a quick 411 on Ender's Gate. So Ender's Gate is a play-to-earn NFT trading card game on the Harmony blockchain. It's inspired by some of the more popular trading card games in existence, such as Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Hearthstone. That's just to name a few. Players can collect, trade, and battle using their own pre-built decks, and each one is unique to their playstyle. Alright guys, so amidst all the hype right now surrounding play-to-earn and GameFi, let's jump straight into the elevator pitch, shall we? I want one of you to pretend, well, you're both in the elevator, you're both stuck with me. I've got a t-shirt on that says I'm an investor, and one of you steps up to give me a 1-minute down low on why I should be interested in Ender's Gate. I don't know which one of you wants to take it, but somebody hit me.
I think I'll let African answer this one.
Sure thing. So
Shoot, man.
I mean, the trading card scene has always been around, right? Growing up, I'm sure one of you or your friends probably collected Pokemon cards or even Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
For sure.
It's made a big change with COVID and everything happening. It's all digital now. Hearthstone is a big name in the trading card scene. It is it's one of the bigger games out there, and a lot of people like it. Namely, I saw a tweet or something one of these days. I think Elon Musk said his favorite game is actually Hearthstone. But we basically see.
Game, right?
Oh, repeat that.
It's a super popular game, Hearthstone. Yeah,
Big
so
time.
it's a
Big time.
great example of a trading card game out there for quite a long time. Yeah.
Precisely. So we here at Ender's Gate, we saw the opportunity. We saw that there weren't many trading card games out. There were a few, but we didn't really see anything that resembled what we envisioned. And so we set out. We looked at the cost, what it will take to make such a game happen, especially with crypto as the backbone. We felt that would be the best way to actually get our idea out. Give the users a big hand in owning their cards and essentially collecting and trading them amongst each other, and having it all backed by the blockchain. And that's basically where we're at right now. It's a huge opportunity, and we're pumped. Everyone that we've worked with says the same. They've seen the art. They see that we're not cutting corners, and yeah, we're in for the long run.
Yeah, for sure.
Really-
The quality we bring to the blockchain is goes a lot of effort goes into the quality for sure.
I think it's a really strong point to add in, guys, that we're talking about games, and I think an important part of that is the artwork and the kind of narrative that's woven in. So, yeah, good work, man. So, thank you for that. You've piqued my interest, guys. You have piqued my interest.
Mhm.
Let's dive in a bit. But the first question I really want to ask you, please forgive me. I'd like to know about the name. Some people will know the movie Ender's Game, which is a 1985 military science fiction novel
Yes,
by
I like
Orson
it.
Card, and it's set in like an unspecified date in Earth's future. So, is one of you a fanboy, or is this completely unrelated?
Here's the thing. I've seen that movie. It was really the ending is a great plot twist. But
Yeah.
no, it's I am a fan of it, but no, this isn't the same. It's let me explain a bit of what's behind the name of Ender's Gate. So essentially, what our story takes place is actually the exact opposite of Ender's Game. Ours takes place in a time in our current solar system, Milky Way,
Okay.
that basically back in time, so far back that we can't even it's past our records. And essentially, there were these huge gates that would open every 10 years and connect parts of the universe together. And whatever came out of the gates were you'd have to either deal with it or cower in fear. So
Okay.
essentially, that's where it's just a small premise of it. There's a bit of more lore there. We have an actual. We're working on something on the back end for the lore lovers like myself, and definitely think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. It's going to give them a bit more in depth on what's going on with the characters, draw them a bit closer to each character we have in the game, and definitely bring a bit more extra, just a little extra oomph.
And also, what we have done with this, with having lore like Marvel/DC, is we're actually able to now partner up with basically anyone and introduce their characters into our game seamlessly, right? So this is a big plus as well.
All right. Cool.
Yes, small caveat as well. Yeah, we made it so that it's our story. It's always expanding, it's never ending, and with that, with the gates, you never know where it's gonna end up next when they open. So we kind of wanted to play a little play on that. So
That's pretty cool, right? That's like
whatever you think of, we could probably connect it to the storyline some way down the line.
okay, cool. I just really wanted to because it's a film I've seen, and I thought, hey, what are
Oh
these
yeah.
guys doing here? But that's cool, man. I just wanted to get now that we've got the important things out of the way. Let's talk about your team a little bit. And
Sure
firstly,
thing.
can you guys introduce yourselves formally and like what and sort of explain what it is that you guys are doing at Enders for the game, and then also the sort of wider team, what the ethos is behind the game. Just kind of talk to us about who's in charge of this whole project.
Sure. So I'll start that off. So my name is David, but everyone knows me as African Beard. I'm 29, and I went to school for computer engineering in New York City. However, I ended up moving towards computer science, and really fell in love with just computers in general and just tech, right? Uh, Eventually got into crypto, and then saw there was a pretty big opening in development. and I've been a very avid. I find myself always landing in leadership roles. I consult a lot, and I just get to see everything from a distance, and then I get to nitpick and also try to perfect things that teammates come up with. I'm essentially the I'd say I'm the director of this project. I put myself in the leadership spot a lot. Duro is my right hand man. Anytime we make a decision, it's with him and I, and of course we consult with our Solidity developers and our game dev to make sure it's all possible.
Yeah, sure, and I'll continue from there. So my name is Andrash. People know me by the Wolf Duro. I'm 21 and I went to computer science school. I'm from Slovenia, and I started with crypto about a year ago with SafeMoon. I'm sure most of you know it. I started with graphic design, and I actually got into the SafeMoon team as a creative, doing some graphics for them. And from then on out, I started helping multiple projects with their art, with the graphics, and from that, me and African have actually started this project. Now, as he mentioned, he's the director, and my job or my focus is more also the look of the game and the feel of the game.
Mhm.
All right, cool. And are you quite a small team, or is there like some guys behind you? You've got your dev team. Is it? But it sounds like you're quite a tight knit team there, right? So it's quite new, quite
Yeah,
fresh. Yeah.
we have two currently. We have two Solidity developers. I'd say one is our front. One acts as our front end dev for our website and other applications. And the other is solely our Solidity developer. We actually had another teammate. Our core team was it used to be 3 people with myself, Duro, and another individual. However, he had to leave for health reasons. And we always wish him the best of luck.
Oh man.
So as well, we have currently 3 game devs, one being our lead, and for our artists, it's essentially a team of many partners. I'd say
I think it's about 14 people who have worked on our card before.
Yeah,
14
precisely.
artists.
And they have their own side hustles, and they have other clients that they work
Sure.
for. So we always try to make sure our schedule's full with them.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So you're quite small, pretty fresh team, pretty young. You guys are at the top of it, and then you've got a small team underneath you. Perfect. So that's cool. So
Precisely.
can you guys tell us a bit, tell the audience and the community kind of what stage you're at with Ender's Gate right now? Are you guys progressing effectively with the roadmap? Because you're pre-launch, right? Is that right?
Mhm. Yeah. So essentially, we gave out a demo earlier. It was more of a proof of concept. It was during Q4 of 2021. We had a lot of feedback from it, and we thank the community we built for it. With that, we were able to go back to drawing board and fine tune things, also improve on the graphics much more than they were before. We went with a bit. We've actually increased our quality quite a bit since our last playthrough.
Still based on
You
sort of user feedback, and you taking that on board,
precisely.
and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And users, we had suggestions from users saying, hey, we'd like more just more visuals to the game. So we set out to do that, and I think it's current state of the game. We're really happy with it. It's just a matter of balancing once we get the next play test out. So right now, going to the roadmap, we have in Q1. We're currently ending Q1. We have our game demo relaunch, which is set to be to go live towards the end of March this month. From there, we have it ongoing, collect more feedback from it. We also have our new NFT contract being launched. We actually have 2 NFTs currently in circulation. One being Eros, he's a legendary card, and the other being Dracul. He's a avatar that boosts all your cards in your deck.
Nice.
Those are the only two that are currently in circulation. They're actually the two that we set out that allowed us to get more funding and basically push the project even further. We'll definitely for Q2, we are planning to have even more cards minted with packs. So each NFT pack we set out will have 5 cards in them, and it's going to be considered a loot box, so it's random. But we will have we'll give more details on that at a later date. For the with Q2, we also have the marketplace coming out really close to the NFT pack offering, but we basically have. Here's the thing. So the marketplace is already developed. We have that done. We have the packs developed. So I'd say Q2 is basically we're trying to get a head start. We have a head start with that. Um, we we just want to essentially test everything, also get it audited because that we're all about security. We don't want to have any unforeseen issues later on. So we kind of went ahead of ourselves and got everything developed, and now we're just waiting for the audit reports to come back, which we will publish for everyone to take a look at and see what's going on. Q3, we're basically looking towards our native token launch, which will be what we pay our players in. We're going to be a play to earn. That's the goal. The token is actually already developed. We're also going to get that audited, and we'll also post those results as well. And come Q3, we feel by then the game should be in a state where we feel more comfortable, or at least comfortable with the balance at that point, as well as any small bugs that need to be fixed should have been fixed by then. And so we feel comfortable with having the play to earn test, which would be where we allow users to earn our token off of wins. And from there, we'd start a bigger campaign to push marketing further out. And after that, I think moving the game towards mobile would be our goal. Definitely in Q4. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about the gameplay a little bit, I think. And it's quite hard to kind of picture it right now, but obviously you guys have been playing with this for quite some time. So could you give the listeners an idea of what they should expect from gameplay and the play to earn element? Obviously, we know the token is not available as yet, but how will this function? Why should how does it fare up against other play to earn games that are already around? How will it look in the wild?
Oh, sure. So we are currently going for a Yu-Gi-Oh approach, very similar gameplay to Yu-Gi-Oh. It isn't necessarily. Oh, here's the thing: the battle system in which we're going for, I'd say it's very reminiscent of team fight tactics from League of Legends.
Right. Okay.
But a bit more, a bit more personal. So it's not necessarily an auto chess. It's more so a strategic game where you have to pre-build your decks, make your plays, work around cards that you want to get out, and try to get that that snowball effect to essentially win the game. We've detailed the gameplay quite a bit in our white paper. We wanted to give players an in-depth view as to what they could expect. You could take a look at it there. It's on our website, endersgate.one. But diving into the actual, it's a bit of it's a lot. Going over the gameplay right now would take quite a bit of time, but
What about just the kind of basics? Well, some people have never played Yu-Gi-Oh. Some people have never even played a trading card game, of course. So just to give the simple basics, because some people
simple basic here. I'd say so you have 4 slots on the board. Let's just say 8 slots. The first 4 would be for your guardian cards, which would be I'd say your champions, right? So with your champions, you'd battle other player champions, and each player is equipped with life points. With these life points, when you're depleted to 0, you essentially lose the game. So you want to always have a defense, and having your guardians on the field at all times is your best defense, as well as pairing them up with some nice NFTs that we have called reaction and action cards. These all make up your deck, and yeah, I'd say that would be the simple version of it.
Okay. No, that's cool, man. That gives a good
Well,
idea of what it's all about. Sorry, go on.
Well, with that, Ian, can I post a picture in general so people can get a bit of a look into
Yeah,
how
of
the
course.
game is played?
Of course, of course.
Yeah, it's just a GIF.
I mean, at the back end of all of this, we'll do a shout out for your socials and your Discord so people can dive further into it. But we're just trying to get like that overview really at the moment. So yeah, it's cool. It's
Oh yeah, for sure.
explained it pretty well. I think it's fine. Okay, so we're at this kind of pre-launch stage. So can you talk to us? I mean, have you done any pre-launch sales as yet? And if so, how have they gone?
Yeah, so we ran two pre-sale sales,
Mhm.
pre-launch sales, I should say. One they went really well. We were able to raise quite a bit that pushed us further. Duro, do you actually remember the numbers?
I think roughly, yeah. So for the first sale, we raised $271,000.
Yes.
And for the second one, we have raised, I think, $400,000, if I'm not mistaken. So altogether, I would say we are above $500,000 raised so far.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
Nice.
So for basically that's basically for the two sales that we've done, and then we'll have another sale coming, which is gonna be a pack opening. So that's gonna be another one to look forward to for anyone that's not from Ender's Gate here.
All right, cool. So, could you tell us a bit about, because obviously putting a game together, anything like this kind of scale of project, it's not easy. It's tough. You're working with technology that's evolving. Can you tell us about some of the sort of ups and downs? Like, have you had any big wins, and have you had any massive fails that you'd like to share? Don't be scared. Like, it's fine. Everybody fails every now and again. But what's been the kind of like the journey? Like, how has it felt? Have you had any massive wins, or has it just been smooth and consistent?
It's that's a thing. It's been a learning experience, definitely, but it's mostly smooth for the most part. Uh, the only L I'd say we took so far would I can't really say any big ones because
Nothing massive. That's pretty good.
Well, I
well,
mean,
that's the thing. So we're relaunching our NFT contract. We actually are improving it. So I guess in that sense, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, we're kind of
Learning from
trying
mistakes.
to improve on top of it.
we're not really, as well, we're not really happy with the previous demo of how the developers handled it and what they have finished and whatnot. So I would say that was a big L for us.
Okay.
But I think at the end of the day, like what really matters with this kind of projects is that you just keep pushing forward, right? And as long as you set out to improve a product until it's perfect, you're gonna succeed. It's just a matter of
Yeah, it's true.
take the L, move forward.
True.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with that.
Yeah, man, you've got to take on the feedback. I think that's a great thing to do at the early stages. Is taking. I mean, because one of the most important things here is to build a community, which is something I wanted to ask you. Again, a difficult task. Got a lot of competition in the space right now. How did you guys go about building the community? You're such a small team. You know, how do you? Any tricks that you'd like to reveal?
Yeah, I think I can answer that one actually. So for starters, we were thinking about what blockchain to use, and we set out to do it on Harmony because we feel like this is the blockchain that's gonna be one of the best in the upcoming years, one that's gonna have the most growth.
Okay.
And with that, we have taken a different approach, which was we have built a lot and we've done a lot before we actually even started publishing it. So instead of building the community first and then putting out content later, we already had content and then we have built a community. And so from the very first person that was in our Discord, we always had something to show them, basically. And that gave them reassurance that we are actually working on this, that we're not like other projects who are either cash grabs or they give up on the project. So that was basically it. I think that's the secret there that we used.
And nice. You were prepared, basically. You were prepared for the onslaught of questions and other things that were going to come in your direction. That's exactly how it should be. That's perfect.
Exactly, yeah.
That's really good. That's really good. I'm going to take a question from the audience. I've got a guy here. 1 second. Let's get him on the stage if he's there. Zippy.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. I actually know a little bit about TCGs, and I have like quite a few questions. So
Sure.
I hope it's okay if I go through them. I'll do them one by one. I was thinking when you said you compared the game to Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm thinking about the competitive scene. So for the longevity of like a game, especially with the TCG, there's like the competitive play where you have like the top players in the tournament, and that kind of brings a lot of excitement. One of the things that happens in that is that certain cards get banned from competitive play. Like Brain Control is a famous card that got banned from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, definitely, and some limitations as well. Yeah, go on.
Exactly. And since you're launching a game with NFTs, I'm kind of wondering how you do that, because NFTs are permanent. Like you can't just nerf someone's NFT, you know? Like how does that? Like how are you going to manage that in terms of like the gameplay and balancing the game in the future? Because someone's going to break the game. That's just how TCGs work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, we actually have a unique contract where we can upgrade the NFTs without getting rid of them. So what we can do is we can balance the cards throughout the game.
Yeah, and with that, we actually have we've discussed with our game dev essentially some cards as I'm sure you already know in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, you know, they started putting a bit of limits on how many cards you can have of the same kind in a deck, and we'd basically look towards doing something similar. We wouldn't have it so that you can just stockpile your deck with one card that's a bit on the powerful or a bit broken side. And that's going to be an ongoing conversation that we have with the community. We definitely want to be fair. We don't want to just throw sanctions on and just say, hey, deal with it. We'll it's going to be an ongoing battle, but we're here for it.
Well, I'm kind of this is like a cause of concern, like how you do that. Like Vitalik famously created Ethereum because he was like upset that his like Warlock spell got nerfed in World of Warcraft.
Mhm.
So you know, people are quite sensitive if you get a famous card that they love and then you nerf it. So I'm like, you know, that's going to have to be dealt with kid gloves.
Yeah, we've definitely. Oh, go on.
No, I'll say end it.
Definitely balancing is going to be a huge challenge. Well, I will say this: whenever we're creating new assets, we always think and always consult with our gameplay advisor. We always ask, is this a bit too powerful? And actually, in the beginning, a few of I'd say our action cards, but you would know them as spell cards in Yu-Gi-Oh. He told us that some of them were a bit too powerful, and he said players may start uh, looking towards those to essentially cheese the game. So we went back to the drawing board on a couple of them that did seem a bit too powerful, and we essentially changed them to be more balanced. And we feel like right now it's in a good spot. We're definitely always asking the question: is this broken, or will this be exploited?
I mean,
and right now we're really comfortable with where all the cards are.
I'm the one that's doing the cards, putting them together, and I can tell you firsthand, I have remade some of the cards like 5 times. Like just from little changes, like changing one word on every single card from champion to guardian, to balancing HP like attack and stuff like that. So it's definitely an ongoing battle, like you said, African. But we'll definitely take suggestions from the community as well of how to handle a specific card if, for example, a lot of people have it, right? We'll try to be as fair as possible. I mean, there's no way of really pleasing 100% of the people. there never is.
Yeah.
But we'll
Yeah.
try to do as best of a job at that as possible.
I will say
Someone
this.
is going to break the game. Like,
Oh.
you think about Magic the Gathering. That's like the
Mhm.
biggest, CCG out there.
Yeah.
And every season, there's always like a couple of like really switched on people, and they just manage to find a loophole, and then they have to have another season and then change it
Every
up.
time.
So
Yeah.
that's something that, like, if you have like serious players in the community, they're going to know about this and they're going to help you. But I guess people who just like come into crypto and don't know as much about like the TCG scene,
Mhm.
you're going to have like a strategy to kind of deal with those people. Have you guys thought about that? Like the newbies who don't know about like this kind of stuff?
Of how to explain
Yeah.
it to them?
Yeah. We've actually had that. That was one of the feedback we've got during our first playtest. With that, and that's something I'd say we didn't do. We didn't have a really in-depth video on how to actually play the game. We will definitely look towards doing that this time around. We'd have a very in-depth tutorial in game, as well as a tutorial video to show players how to navigate the game and essentially be on an equal playing field for knowledge in that sense. Um, but yeah, that's definitely. I know what you mean with the whole players figuring out ways to break the game. This is something that will never end really in gaming, but it's gonna be a
It's a
something
cat and
we
mouse
always
game.
monitor. Yeah, we're gonna continue monitoring.
They
it,
break it,
definitely.
we fix it, and so on.
Yeah.
But we'll do
It's
the
kind
best
of
job
part of the fun
possible
of
at it.
doing it, You find
Yeah.
like a really overpowered combo, and it's like the satisfaction of
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can have also decks that have even more powerful combos to counteract that strategies. It can be used as
Exactly.
as a strategy at the end of the day as well.
Yeah.
Not a
So
We'll
overly
always
broken
my
look
one.
at
personal
what
background
is
is
and how
like
it's done.
coming from the tabletop like scene. So like I play with like physical cards, and I play the Pokemon TCG like a fair bit. And one of the things that you can do with like the electronic stuff like Hearthstone,
Yeah.
like my Pokemon cards, I can't, when I evolve a card, I have to get like another card and do it. With Hearthstone, you could just like, add cards and all these cool effects happen. Now, you guys are doing this with NFTs, so they shouldn't really change too much. And then you're making the game on the blockchain. And I'm thinking, are you trying to like play it more like a kind of like paper card game where things are static and you just move them around? Or are you going more the Hearthstone route where things are going to be dynamic, like cards will change?
That's a good question.
So I'd say it's gonna be something in between. We'll steer towards not trying to change cards as much as possible, and instead of changing them, actually introducing new ones, new expansions, new characters, and so on. But like I said, if there really is, and there will be, a time where we need to change something, we'll try to do it in the way where we can please the most people that have that specific card, and balance the card as well at the same time. I don't know if that answers the question, but I hope so.
It does, and
Yeah.
that like leads us to the next question, which is one of the challenges of blockchain gaming is like the latency and like the kind of thing you're doing where it's going to be play to earn. You've got like decks, so using the blockchain security to keep each match, like to keep the integrity of the match, that's going to be great. But as soon as you move over to like dynamic stuff like the Hearthstone style, I'm kind of wondering if that's going to be a bottleneck with the speed of the blockchain. Is that kind of like why you went with Harmony One, or like?
That's definitely something we'll have to look into towards once we start testing that. But yeah, that's a good point because definitely having like every move approved or whatnot, it's gonna start being a bit of a headache.
But I was just about to say that with that in Q3, if everything goes smoothly, we also have, and I'm not gonna say who, some partners or actually some people who want to partner with us, and they have a few protocols that might help with that as well. So
Yeah,
it's definitely gonna be that plus the Harmony blockchain evolving in itself as well. And I think by the time that everything's done and finished, I think it's gonna go smoothly.
of the things you mentioned then, Zippy, was really something just made me think about card games. One of the things that I really liked about Gods Unchained was the reveals, and they put quite a lot of effort into like the sound effects and the kind of visual side of it. So it really did get you excited, a little bit like NBA Top Shot as well, where you tear the pack up because you can't do it with your hands, obviously. So you've got to engage people.
Yeah.
You've got to kind of engage people. So are you guys working on that? Like I know that you said at the beginning about the artwork was quite an important factor. Is there some kind of mechanism you're putting in to kind of, you know, make it more exciting when you rip that pack open and for the first time?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely. We already have animations made for the pack openings and how it's going to visually be represented on the screen of what you're getting. And there is that moment of, you know, you're going to get a card of a certain rarity, but you still don't know which one.
nice.
So we were definitely with that building the hype up, and we've taken examples of other games. We actually scoured the internet of how other games do it, and we try to come up with a unique way that we think puts the hype there.
Nice.
So definitely.
Really?
Nice. Yeah, it just occurred to me just now after Zippy asked that question, actually. Zippy, have you got another question, or are you just listening in?
I'm listening in now, so I've already asked like
Okay.
15 questions.
Thank you for the question, Zippy.
Really good question. And as Zippy
Yeah,
said,
really good question.
he's actually from sort of the traditional card game world, so it's quite interesting for me
Yeah,
to listen
tabletop.
about how you're going to cross those two together, because it's something that I perhaps haven't considered as I'm not a player of traditional card games like that. So yeah, interesting. I've got a couple of questions that have come in on message as well, so I'm just going to go through these as well. All right. So first
Sweet, go for it.
question. I would like to ask Ender's Gate if they would manage to release their games on Steam. Also in
On Steam.
in the console world. Two separate questions there, really. I'd say answer the Steam one first, and then consoles is a bit of a different ball game, right?
Yeah, of course. I think with that, first we aim to have a stable version of the PC build, and then we're gonna move to mobile, as indicated by our roadmap, and then from then on out, I mean, who knows, right? We do have plans to eventually move multi-chain, but that I would say at this point is still far in the future. And then from then on out, we may do that as well. But I think we'll stick to crypto scene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
likely.
for now. And honestly, to answer the Steam question, I don't think Steam accepts crypto games at the moment.
It's like you've got to divide the logic, basically. You've got to.
Yeah, we'd have to make like an
Yeah,
off-chain
it's
version.
not as quite. It's like an off-chain version of. More
Yeah.
difficult to implement, actually. But I see where he's going with the question. I think he's wondering, you know,
I do see where he's going.
people are looking at like
Yeah.
adoption, and people are thinking about ease of play a little bit, you know, because when we talk about gaming,
Yeah.
they're used to picking up a device, and
Makes
just
sense.
literally a few bashes on the button, and you start playing. It's not quite like that in the crypto game scene, is it?
Yeah.
He's probably thinking about that, but
Yeah,
question, I think.
we're gonna, as Doro said, we're gonna stick with our identity essentially right now, and in the future, you know,
Who knows?
we're not close to expansions and
Yeah.
conversations with others.
But I think that's more of a mutual work where it's not only on us, but it's, I would say, on all of the other providers to actually start
Yeah.
adopting crypto as a whole. And at that point, I mean, I think we'd be very open to it as well. So
Yeah, you'd kind of be a bit crazy not to look at it if it was an option, right? With all the
exactly.
audience there as well.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So
Yeah.
something for the future, perhaps, gents, maybe, but let's not get too excited right now. What else have we got here? So, okay, this one first. Question from buttheadus.crazy.1. Do you have any plans to reward the initial investors?
Yes,
Oh, definitely.
Me.
Yeah.
of course.
We're
Do
always
they
talking
get?
about that,
What will they be
actually.
getting? What can you reveal, and what can you tease, perhaps?
Airdrops. A lot more. Definitely some exclusive. Some exclusive things for sure. And yeah, essentially, they you know, they're without them we wouldn't be here. So we definitely have to show them some love.
But that
be
also
more minded.
depends. Yeah, but that also depends if either they bought in the first sale, the second sale, or the third sale.
Yeah.
But we do have plans
Gotcha.
to reward everyone, just on different levels. Of course, there was some risk that the first investors took into actually funding us, right?
Yeah.
And for that, they deserve the highest reward, in our opinion. but we'll aim to have all of the 3 cells that help us get where we are, and will help us get through the end of this roadmap for 2022. Something in return, definitely.
Okay, cool. So that's good. It's fine.
I got another question.
And then what you got?
I was thinking, one of the things in the play to earn world, which is kind of rampant and is difficult to manage, is botting. And I was kind of wondering what you guys had like in terms of security to prevent botting, or at least like make it so that if someone does it, the rewards are like minuscule or next to nothing.
So,
you want to answer that, Dora?
I'll answer it in part, because
Okay,
I'll
go
answer
for it.
this part where I think specifically Ender's Gate, I don't think botting is going to be even attempted, or well, it's going to be attempted, but it's not going to be successful. And the reason for that is because the cards are so different from each other. So the players can build up a lot of different strategies. For example, if you look at the cards we have out so far on Twitter and you read the descriptions, the combinations in which you can use these cards are, well, there is a lot of them, right? And with that, people are also going to be building decks to counteract those strategies. So it's really so dynamic in which how you can build your strategy up and how you can battle other opponents. Then at that point, bots are not going to have a high success rate at all. But on the technical side, I'll leave that to African as well if he has anything to add.
Yeah, we're definitely looking at that question came up during a few of our AMAs in our community. One thing that we said we do is we wouldn't award essentially people that bought it, but to do that, we'd basically have to only award the winners, anyone that wins a match, and essentially that makes it so that users won't just make bots and just deliberately lose just to get a bit of tokens as a reward. We definitely want to steer away from that because that just doesn't make a great game. Community competition won't really be what we want it to be. We want people to really get involved with the game and not just play it passively. Definitely, and that's basically where we're at with that. We'll also look into other ways to prevent bots,
which would be more for our Solidity devs to answer at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it's more of a dev question, isn't it? But it's also just thinking about some of the examples I've seen over the last year or so with Alien Worlds and what was the other one? Basically, where they had to throw up a 2FA to stop bots, basically. So is that something that you guys are thinking about? Because they implemented that like retrospectively, and it kind of hurt them a little bit, I think. But
Oh, really?
yeah.
We'll look into that because that's actually a good point. Let's see, I've been writing notes.
Cool, man. Well, it's a two-way session. I think that's good as well. So yeah. Okay, I've got another question from a guy called Checkpoint. It's a pretty big question, and you guys have got to nail this one. So, what is the main difference here between other play-to-earn games? So, let's keep it a bit tighter. Let's talk about other play-to-earn card-based games. How are you guys gonna supersede those ones? But I also want to add that it's not always about beating a project, because investors and players are looking for the next project sometimes. So it's not always about trying to beat them. It's about trying to be the next big thing as well. So I always like to add that. I think it's quite important.
Exactly.
Yeah. How are you
completely agree
and
with
that was our main point, actually.
Yeah.
But you mentioned it already, right?
Sorry,
So I think Africa's gonna continue on that.
Yeah, no, we've definitely been asked this question a lot. It's kept us awake. It's one of those things that you want to just say, oh yeah, we're gonna be better than these guys, but it's really not the case. In crypto, we want we want gaming to be normal. We want people to see multiple games, come here and just enjoy their time, right? We ideally we've seen what Axie has been able to accomplish. We've seen what Gods on Chain has been able to accomplish, and honestly, we applaud what they've accomplished. We actually look to mimic or instead actually add on to what they've done.
Yeah.
Innovate from where they
precisely
stopped.
Yeah, we've and our community has been, they've accessed this question multiple times. They're like, hey, oh snap, this looks just like Gods on Chain. We're like, oh yeah, when you first hear that, you're like, what do you mean by that?
It's a bit annoying,
But then
right?
it's really a compliment.
It's a compliment.
Yeah, exactly. But then you start to think like, wait, is that really a bad thing?
Oh.
And then you just start looking at what they've done, and then you just want to add on to it. So it's really cool. It's pretty humbling, and it's definitely something that we've thought about. The only difference I'd say that we did, or what makes us different, is that we chose to build on Harmony. It's honestly it's grown on us. It's the team has been phenomenal. They've been super helpful when it comes to getting the game off the ground with development. Whenever there's something we don't understand or want to expand on, their dev team is just so helpful, and they have a community that's just so supportive.
Exactly.
And a huge uptrend as well for the token itself.
And I would actually like to mention a few points there as well of how we're different or in this ballpark. So when you actually play a game, people like different genres, right? So for example, you like shooter games, right?
Mhm.
And if there is a few play to earn shooter games, if you like one, eventually you're gonna get tired of it, right? I mean, that's just the reality of it. So you're gonna look for something new, something fresh. So if you like card games, there is not necessarily an argument to be made that because one or two already exist, you're not gonna like Ender's Gate. I would say it's the opposite. You like one or two, and Ender's Gate is a card game as well, but it offers a different logic, different playing style. So the chances that you're gonna like Ender's Gate are higher.
Yeah.
And we can share that player base as well. I mean,
It's a good.
Yeah.
Of course.
The harmony thing is quite an important thing to talk about for a second, I think, because one of the things that obviously I'm staring at dApps every day, so forgive me for mentioning other projects, but I've seen that the gamified finance platform DeFi Kingdoms has done really well on Harmony. It holds the majority of their total value locked even, and it's a game. Now they've announced the custom sidechain option on Avalanche, and did that draw you to Harmony? And when I spoke with them, I actually wanted to know if they were like officially backed by Harmony. And same question to you guys, really. Like you said then that they're really helpful and that they're helping you, but they're supporting you, not financially, but kind of, are they, what's the word? Like, literally, yeah.
Actually, both.
Yeah. Okay.
Both, yeah. Aside from their grant, I mean, before we even made the decision to come to Harmony, we really didn't see. We didn't really look at what they had on the table. We did look at other chains. We looked at BSC. We looked at Ethereum. But then we came here and we're like, wow, there's actually some pretty cool projects here. And then we also saw how cheap the transaction fees were, and we're like, wow, this is awesome. And so we just started to build on it, and yeah, we haven't really looked back. Then and the team, whenever we reach out to them, they respond within either within the hour or a really detailed answers. And so we have we just love it here, honestly.
That's what you need.
Yeah, and also we got the grant, right? So
yeah,
as you
also,
mentioned.
yeah, the grant is also a bonus.
So I'd say if you consider that officially backed, I mean, then we are backed officially. So
yeah, definitely.
Do you tap into their kind of marketing angles and avenues, or are you on your own once you've launched, or how does that work with Harmony? Are they going to assist with that, or?
So that's the thing.
yes.
They actually haven't really heavily marketed us yet, but they definitely did they featured us a couple times in like a video or two of their they continue to increase and expand on their tech, and they like to use us as a bit of a poster child. I hope they could use us even further than that, because once we get a bit further along with our development, yeah, I mean, we'd love to be up there with them, just have them plaster our name everywhere.
Yeah, and I think with that we're also currently at a very similar stage than Harmony. I think both Harmony team and us are both spend the majority of the time building the actual product in the background, and that then afterwards, when it's actually where you want it to be, you keep improving it, and then you start marketing it, right? So at this point, I'd say we haven't marketed it a lot at all, right? But what we're trying to do is we're trying to wait until we have the product where we actually think it's where from then on out we can just improve it, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
then we start marking it.
And you're ready to kind of reveal. I think it's a great answer, and it's the right answer. That a lot of organizations, they do throw things out a bit early because they think, oh, we better rush to market. But actually, I'm with you guys.
No,
It's like
not worth.
when there's more competition, it means you should get it right. That's my opinion as well. So
Correct.
Exactly.
it's a good
100%,
approach.
yeah.
Man. I'm just going to go back to some. I've got a couple more questions here from the audience. Loads of people having problems
Sure.
with their internet today, so they're just pinging in questions on message here. This is quite a good one. This is from D. Arvis. Will your cards be NFTs from the start, or will it occur after a balancing period?
They are NFTs from the start.
From the start,
answers-
precisely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the thing. We're able to mint and just upgrade them afterwards because that's how our smart contract works. And also our game dev is also here with us. So any changes needed are on the fly. And yeah. There'll be NFTs.
Okay, cool. Okay, I've got one more question here from Checkpoint. Will there be such a thing as combining two cards to get a stronger card? Sorry if you've already explained it. I'm having problems with my internet.
Oh yeah, no problem. No, we've been asked that a couple times, and it's something that we want to look at towards the future. For now, it won't be that way. One card will be considered just one card. You could have it in your deck multiple times. Maybe it's a strat that you have that you want to play around. But combining cards to make a different card, that's something we'll have to look into in the future, definitely. Once there's more in circulation.
But also want to mention, with this, we are from the start when the game launches, March. We're actually gonna have 200 cards, right? So that's a huge number to have off the bat, and then we're gonna keep adding on top of that with expansions and other stuff like that. So I don't necessarily even think there's gonna be a need for that for combining cards, because not only are they upgradable as NFTs, they're also upgradable in game. So we're gonna have an item shop where you can basically select items or potions, books, or stuff like that, and you can put it on top of the card, right? Which makes it stronger or gives it more attack, defense, etc. Right? So I think in a sense they already are like combinable.
Yeah, just in a different mechanic almost, right? So it's just a slightly different way of handling things. All right, cool. I've got the one last question from the audience here. We've kind of answered it a little bit. I'll read the question, but then I'll rephrase it because I think there's still a question in here that's worth asking as well. So the question is, any marketing plans in the future, like collaborations or crossovers with other Harmony projects? I think we spoke about marketing, so that's fine. But what about collaborations with other Harmony projects? Perhaps some of the other games there or anything in the pipeline you could reveal?
Yeah, we're always watching. Oh, go on.
Yeah, we're definitely always looking for that. Now, with that, the biggest, I would say, the biggest problem is that we're actually trying to see who's gonna deliver, who's gonna deliver the product as we are intending to. As you may know, like there's a lot of projects on every blockchain, right? And most of those are either not gonna launch or they're not gonna come to that point where they set out at the start, right? So we're definitely looking for those that are serious and are gonna deliver, right? And for that ones, I'd say we'd have no issues with partnering. We actually got a few a few teams contacting us for a partnership, but at this point we're not willing to do it yet, just because we want to wait, like I said previously, for the game to be at a point where it's finished.
I think that point has come across the whole AMA, that you guys are about quality, not quantity, that you're not rushing. It's really good, and that ethos is spreading out, because it'd be very easy to just partner with anyone and everybody for the social recognition, the tapping into their audiences, but we're playing a longer game, and I like that. I think it's good. Let's talk about the NFT Marketplace a little bit, because that's something that's on the roadmap for Q2, is that right? And it's something that really pushed, again, DeFi Kingdoms, when they launched their marketplace, it really propelled them into the next level. So just briefly talk to us about that a little bit and what people could expect there.
Oh yeah, so that is something that we dove into quite early. We wanted to get the marketplace developed, tested, and allow users to, have a pretty cool experience when we have our NFT packs. Users can actually either list their NFT packs on the marketplace as packs. Maybe they don't want to actually open them, because we do plan on having generational packs in which this first generation will be called Gen Zero, and then from there we'd expand later on. So players might not want to open the packs just to add a bit more value to them. Uh, Ideally, also players that open the packs could just list the cards individually on the
Yep.
marketplace. As for there'll be also a few other things that users can do on the marketplace. We're looking into actual card renting. So if a user has a deck and they're actually an avid player and they're like, hey, I can't play for this for a bit, they can actually just rent out their cards for a set fee that they agree
Nice.
on. And then yeah, users can a new user could come through. Maybe they're a streamer or something. They don't really have time to collect the cards. They just want to rent a whole deck. Go for it. Things like that. As well as other things. We will also have the comics that we are currently playing around with in the background that users could list there. And yeah, it's just going to be an all-around marketplace where we'll probably add a bit more if users want to see some more expansions, maybe some other things they've seen from other marketplaces to it. We're
I
open
think it's
for it.
very cool what you just mentioned about the guilds.
Definitely.
Sorry, man. Sorry, Wolf. Go on.
Oh no, go on. Just said
I just think it's
definitely.
cool that you've added the key point I took from that there is the kind of guilds and the kind of that mechanic where people, newbies as we call them, can come in, rent or loan cards to engage with the game for a low cost. I think that's very cool, and it's good that you guys are thinking about that in advance as well. Definitely, man. That's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
So we've pretty much covered everything, I believe. We've gone through what the game is and how it will work and the sort of major points of it and what people should look forward to in the future. Is there anything else that you guys want to kind of... Oh my God, I'm so sorry. RLO, you have a question and I've kept you waiting there for so long. I'm sorry, man.
Huh.
RLO, are you there? Oh no.
No.
Might be having audio problems.
Maybe he can get his
Oh,
question.
I left him there for too long. He's probably run away. That's my bad. I will get his question. Okay.
Okay, great. We'll circle back and answer
If you
it.
can hear us, RLO, if you head into the
Maybe.
Discord of their chat, then you can throw your question in there, no problem, man. But yeah, is there anything else that you guys want to kind of
Yeah,
get
we'll
off your
ask
chest? Outline about Enders that we haven't spoken about. Just put it out there. Anything to get excited about? You said the game is coming in March, like the launch is in March. Have you got a hard date on that, or is it still a bit soft right now?
Yeah, so right now we have a bit of it's semi. We want to give our game dev a bit we gave him a bit of wiggle room. He did tell us March. I let him give me the date. March ending will be the date of which we can have our demo out. I'm working with him around the clock, just trying to make sure he has everything he needs so that we could have a successful launch. And of course, we're giving him we're adding a bit of extra time to allow him to work on bugs, and it's going to be an ongoing thing. So after launch, we won't just disappear. We'll also be there taking feedback. But for our closing statements, I mean, we're just truly passionate about this project. And that's the thing. We've had a bunch of pretty cool. It's pretty cool seeing a lot of bigger names reach out to us and want to like ask us questions, and it's something that it's really humbling, and it makes you want to even work harder. So it's yeah, I'd say yeah, this is awesome.
Man, nice. No, this is...
Yeah, couldn't have said it better.
That's why we do these sessions, really, guys. It's to kind of get an idea of who's sitting behind the project, because so often it's quite faceless. It's easy to read a white paper, it's easy to watch a YouTube video, but still don't get to know the people who are actually working on this every day. So I think it's great that people get to ask questions and get to, they get a vibe from the team. So that's what this is all about. And you guys have done a great job. You've articulated what it's all about and why people should be taking interest, I think. So thank you very much for your time, guys. We've come to the end of the session. It's gone fast today. Crazy. I didn't even realize. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time and your energy, and again articulating the answers for the community here. And as I said at the beginning, this recording will go up on YouTube, so you can continue to use it and spray it around for your benefit as well. So once again, I'd just like to thank our two guests. Thank you, gentlemen. You have been awesome, and I'm sure we will talk again soon.
Thank you for this AMA. It's great.
No worries, guys. It's been awesome. So yeah, tomorrow we've got another AMA with Pedro and Boris, our regular Thursday slot. And what they're going to be looking at, quite ironically, is what games we should be looking at in the bear market. As we know, the crypto markets are somewhat depressed right now. According to our latest DApp industry report, games are still hyping. So we're going to look at what games you should be watching in the bear market. So join them tomorrow on Discord, 4 p.m. UTC time. From me, Ian, I want to thank you all for listening once again, and I'll catch you all next week. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you learned something. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Ian. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.